Hey folks, Farm Tour Tuesday, although today is actually Wednesday, early morning Wednesday, and it's chilly, it's 32 out. So this is for January 3rd, today is January 4th. I was trying to crack at it for the current tile job I'm on, so I was out and about, had done chores right as the sun was coming up and did not have time to come out here and film before. And then when I got home, it was well after dark, and so that's not very conducive to filming. So, and even now it's about 7 o'clock and I've got to crack out of here in the next 20 minutes and I'm trying to do chores. So we're gonna make this pretty quick. So with Red and his group, they're still in here, right? I'm actually kind of trapped. Okay, so this will be the paddock, same as always, that it seems like I ramble on for a little bit longer. So they still have plenty of grass. It's getting really short. I will not lie on that. Up here on the top I noticed, but working down towards the water, there's still plenty, and the further you go back in here, there's more. So I'm not real worried. You can really see that low spot we just got a ton of rain the last 2 days, and with all these clouds it looks like we might get more. They're very pretty though. So they're still in here, and the biggest issue actually is the fact that the feeders are still where they're at, and I really want to move them. Okay, but if you'll remember from our setup video on how we were going to run everybody for the year, right, where our 3 rotations were going to be, we were going to do Red and his, okay, we're going to be here, this L, and the quarantine yard. Okay, well, that's an issue because, actually, why face off into there when you can face pigs, right? So they have beat the L pretty good, but that's not terrible because it's not terrible up at the front. I want to let the pigs out of there, the piglets out of there, and let them have the L. So, sorry, I got distracted with geese, so there's probably a glitch in that. I started to pan up and stare at them. So I'm very tired. I've not been sleeping very much for some reason lately. But so I want to let the piglets have that. And Toast has the quarantine yard now. If you saw the video that should go up just before this one, you'll see I got Toast moved. What a nightmare that was. Got him moved. So 2 of these guys' yards are occupied. So that kind of leaves them trapped here for a little while until I kind of resolve that, which would preferably just be like the little piglets can go out with the feeders, but in order for the feeders to be able to accept them, so I'm not worried about any size discrepancies or too many pigs in one group for our shelter situations. I need to have some of those feeders gone, and I haven't managed to sell any of those yet. I don't know why, but I'm really struggling to sell whole and half hogs, or even retail cuts, because I would process them for retail cuts, but retail sales have been terrible lately. So there's that issue. So I can't just move them to this paddock right here because I don't want them to be right next to these guys. I might have to go ahead and do that though. I might have to, so there's not a hot wire on this side, but there is a hot wire on Red side. So I may need to come out here, install a hot wire on this side, and cross my fingers and hope that that's enough. It's still kicking out like 7,000 volts, so like we're 7 on the reader, right? So hopefully that's enough to dissuade him. And that ticking down there is not the same ticking as before. That ticking is just where two hot wires are connected. I was trying to use my fingers to show you what that looked like. It's just where 2 hot wires are connected like that. So there's just kind of a gap, so they're ticking. I need to get that repaired, but it's nothing bad. It's just go down there and squeeze it together. Anywho, so yeah, so we haven't been able to move them because I didn't really want them side by side with him, and they have pretty beat up their spot right there. The one where the dogs are right now. I think you could probably see them a little. They just moved all up there towards the house now. So there's not really any benefit to moving them over there beyond getting them out of there and giving them that hay bale. And now they need a bale of hay. You can see they have pretty well destroyed their bale. It's gone. They've eaten it and they've bedded it and they've mashed it into the mud. So they need a new bale. I did consider just bumping them back one and taking them outside of their normal 3 that we had discussed being their paddocks. But I worry about them then being fence to fence with Payday. and his group. So I've then been debating, like, well, maybe I move Payday and his group up to where the dogs are and move the dogs. They absolutely love when they get to the pond, but I don't want to have to walk through those 3 with the 4 buckets of schlop feed to feed the feeders. That'll just be a nightmare, or those 4 pigs with the 4 buckets. I just don't want to deal with that. Because even though they'll have their own feed, there'll still be a handful with the amount of time it'll take me to carry those buckets across, I think. So that may be what I have to do anyways. It's just not going to be enjoyable. Yeah, so if you have any suggestions, if you've watched our paddock layout video and you know how that is, feel free to chip in with some suggestions. I've got to puzzle something out here that moves everyone around this week in a manner that's, and that far back paddock, I might, another option is I just drag one of those shelters up there. And then I could move these guys up to here and those guys. Nope, still can't. Yeah, so this is a like horrible puzzle. So if you got any suggestions, I've been thinking on it all week and trying to figure stuff out. And this really may be it, honestly. If you saw the video that went up before this one, you know that the piglets all got dewormed and they got castrated. The one got castrated that needed it. And they're doing good. Nobody else has really got any problems. The feeders are all doing good beyond that they really need to, most of them need to go. Their paddock is fine. There's no turned over areas or anything. You'll get to see that next week, I promise. There's not, I'll make sure to spare the time. I'll be off this job by then, so it won't be a big deal. And they'll be out of that paddock by next week. Once we puzzle it out, I'll probably do a moving video to shuffle around and show you all how we've resolved this issue of everybody's blocking up each other's movements right now. So we've got pig Tetris. Yeah, so that's it. That's really kind of just where everyone's at, how things are going right now. And the biggest issue on the farm right now is how to shuffle the pigs around, and puzzling out this pig Tetris. That is now what I'm going to call this. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for keeping up with what our farm does. And again, like I said, if you have any suggestions, let me know, because I'm struggling through this right now on what I want to do with this. But beyond that, thank you to our Patreon supporters, Raymond and Ashley Hunter. Got it right this week. Without double checking, I just know that that's right, because I've tried to memorize it again. And thank you to the rest of you that make it to the end of our videos. You guys have a fantastic week, and stay warm as the temps start dropping back down to being a little cold. Not -10 cold again, but a little chilly.